Get to our next topic, brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back. There's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making a late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when their first $5 bet wins. So head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. So yesterday, right after the show ended, Kevin Stefanski did his annual Monday or weekly Monday press conference, and he said essentially nothing of note. He said in Lyman's terms that Bubba Ventrone is safe and he believes in Bubba, and it's unfair to speculate on when Shedeur will play because it's unfair to young players to put their progress in a linear basis. I don't really want to dive into either of those two things. We can kind of get to that as we dive through it in this situation. But, G, I'll start with you. We've talked about this kind of in roundabout terms in the past, but we know Stefanski says nothing when it comes to actually answering questions. He's going to answer with whatever he wants to answer, regardless of how you ask. Do you think some of the drama with the Browns could be put to bed if he just gave us a straight answer every once in a while?
Yes.
He was just more honest with what he really thought and felt about certain players?
Yes. I've always said Kevin Stefanski might not be a bad guy, but people really need to study communication. They need to study human nature. They should be studying how people receive messaging. And I don't want to sound like I'm some dude coming in doing a corporate training program, but there's a lot of things that you can do in management and leadership that will help you out in the long haul. It makes you look human if you say, I understand that everybody wants to see, Shedeur. Shedeur is working very hard behind the scenes. I've seen a tremendous amount of progress. At the same time, I know Dylan's working hard as well. So, we're excited for both young players. Now, listen, you didn't say which one was going to play. You didn't cut one down. You said that he's been working behind the scenes and doing his thing. But when you say, I don't want to speculate, it's like, what do you mean you don't want to speculate? You act like somebody's asking you to say something that's out of the realm of possibility. Like, help yourself out, man. Like, when you say we have to be better, but don't go into why exactly you need to be better, actually what you're doing, that's a deflection tactic. To be truthful with you, say for instance, y'all got kids and y'all got children, right? I don't have any kids yet, but let me just give y'all that. So something happens with your kid and you call them into the room and say, hey guys, what happened with this? And before he can even explain to what it is, he hits you with this. Hey Dad, listen, I appreciate your concern about this. I gotta be better. Gotta be better. Thanks for the talk. Walks out. 2 weeks later, you get another report.
Well, it ain't gonna get to 2 weeks.
You see, Tyvus is already being a black dad. It ain't gonna get to 2 weeks later. Two weeks later, you come in, it's the same thing.
Well, you gonna be better today.
You get this, Dustin. It's the same thing, and you go, hey, tell me about this. I'm trying to seek to understand what's going on. So multiple times this joint is happening. You say, you know what, Dad, I appreciate what you're saying, and I really appreciate how hard you work as a father to raise me. And I appreciate the conversation, and we're gonna be better. Now, at that point, you in your feelings a little bit now. Like, nah, bro, you're gonna have to explain something, bro, about what's happening, how this is moving. Because you just saying I have to be better is not taking accountability. What it's doing is deflecting. So it's basically saying, yeah, I hear you. Shut up and leave me alone. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna help you out. That's just not.
I've always thought, and I don't know that fans feel this way. I think some do and some don't. I think when you don't answer any questions, and a lot of people say, well, what do you want him to say? Well, I think, ultimately the only accountability he owes is to the guy paying him, right? Mm-hmm. Jimmy Haslam. Mm-hmm. So maybe behind the scenes he is more accountable. I don't know. I think it's not that he owes the media answers. He owes the fans answers, in my opinion, because football players and football coaches and football owners make all their money because of how popular football is. Because fans spend a lot of money on all these things Because of that, these guys, coaches, owners, players, get a better life because fans spend money and care about what they do. If fans didn't care about football, nobody in football would make any money if it wasn't a popular sport. So I think coaches owe it to the fans to take them inside a little bit. Obviously, you can't reveal everything that's going on.
We don't need trade secrets, but we need some sort of
You gotta
clarity,
give
some transparency
something.
to what's going on.
Fans are frustrated.
Give us a reason to go to the game this week.
Right.
Give us a reason to go next week.
Yes.
Give us a reason to watch.
Especially when you have no benefit of the doubt. Like when Bill Belichick used to pull this crap, it's frustrating. I didn't like it. I don't think it's an excuse. But they win, so fans don't care. But when you're losing and when you've won 5 football games since week 18 of the 2023 season, you owe the fans some answers, I think. Now, again,
Plus,
I don't know if every fan feels that way, but I bet a lot do.
Guys, we've been here since August, and we've heard multiple people and multiple journalists and multiple people that are in that, talk to those people in the Browns, and they've all told us what? They're not trying to win. They've told us that. So my thing is, now that you told us that, you expect us to, then you can get up and say that? Oh, we going to do this, we going to do this, I can't speculate. And it's just like, but you're sending out messages through people saying, we're going to tank and we're going to lose games, and you just lost games last year. What do you think was going to happen? Like, why? In what world and what business can you still consistently lose, shortchange your customers, act like you don't care, but then you're upset because we're like, dude, at least give an account for something. I don't understand it. I just don't simply get it. Like, why are you mad at us? We should be mad. You mad at me for like y'all the one losing. We just want to know what's going on. You know it's tough. Even when Tyvus ain't got nothing.
I was gonna say, yeah, Tyvus.
When Tyvus ain't got nothing, it's bad.
I mean, what do you think, Tyvus? Would you, as a player, did you want your coach to be honest with the media at all, or did you not want him to be honest with the media?
I think the problem with today's society, like the new generation, is that it's so much. It's the social media aspect. Like, it was obviously when I played, it was a thing, but it's much bigger now. So players are gonna look. I know they look. Heck, I just talked to one 2 weeks ago, and he told me, he said, I look at everything you be saying.
Yeah. One of the Browns players told you that?
So I know they.
You gonna tell us who it is?
Yeah, you know who it is.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
yeah.
So the thing is, I don't like the fact that, what I don't like about it is media or us people, not us, y'all, you media people.
Oh, stop already.
You media people.
This guy, that's your
it's
boy.
A bunch of stuff that gets spewed out, like, right, on social media, where it's like, not a player is thinking like, I wonder if that's true, like, if I'm feeling like, if that's how they really feel.
Well, give me an example.
I don't know, like, just look at a player that's playing bad. And Kevin, you ask Kevin about the player, and Kevin will say, we're going to keep all those conversations indoor. I'm not going to talk about that here. Okay. So let's say I'm a player. If me and him hasn't talked about it, but I'm on social media and it's like, the Browns need to move on from this guy. This guy ain't great, and the coach ain't saying nothing to me, but he talking about we keeping conversations indoor. Like, it gets tricky, because like now I'm starting to feed into like, how do they know these? How do they know this stuff? How do they know what's going on in this building? Somebody must have told them something that's inside the building. So like now my mind,
guys talk off the record.
My mind as a player is wandering. Where if he would have just said what he said in the press conference, it would be like, all right, we know what it is. Everybody know what it is. We got to understand it. If he is having them conversations, it's still frustrating because, like, I know what he said.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm still seeing it on social media. Like, it's a different message on social media. So, like, to me, I think that ultimately it's just better to just say what it is to the media so everybody on the same page, and you ain't got to worry about writing these other stories. The player know exactly what it is, and everybody in the world know what it is. So I think that would probably – so to answer the question, yes, it would be more beneficial for him to just be out.
On a side note, social media is really – the worst thing that's ever happened
to everything.
It's the worst. There are benefits of it, but it has led to so much of the bad things in this world, I believe.
I mean,
and now, dude, and not to get this is probably a rabbit hole, but like with the AI and stuff, like
You don't know what's real anymore.
It's really difficult to find out what's going on. Like,
Right.
my wife will be like, "Honey, did you see this?" And she shows it to me, and it's like, "That's not real, honey."
Yeah,
like
right.
I know it's not real.
That's definitely not fake. That's definitely. But here's the thing. To be honest,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the bubonic plague was kind of bad. I mean, the Spanish Inquisition.
I get it.
The Salem witch hunts was kind
I'm
of.
just saying it's.
We're talking about our world we live in.
Right.
Sports
Right.
media.
I get it.
It's not help.
It's not the worst thing ever, but it is destroying. And I was actually
bad.
listening to Howard Stern, who I don't listen to as much as I used to, and he made the point that like with all this AI now, it's like it's going to stop people from being creative. Because what's the point? What's the point of working hard? What's the point of being creative if you could just push a button on a computer and get it?
I always say this: there's always a reset button in society.
I hope so.
The pendulum always swings, and then there's something
Right.
that comes with. And I mean, look, we don't really want to. I mean, COVID changed the world. Like, there's certain things that happen in life that change the fabric of society. So there's always boiling points. There's always times where, social media is tough. Like, you do have to censor yourself. You do have to, you know what I'm saying, take a break from it, and you do have to have some level of discernment about what you watch and how you move with it.
The funny thing is like we often react to Twitter as if that's what everybody thinks, when the percentage of people that are actually on Twitter is not very large.
Somebody said,
we forget that.
The scary part is I watched this documentary, and they talked about I think it's called the dead internet theory. They think that there is less than 10% of the people, the internet is a people. Like 90% is all bots and all like fake AI stuff. Like, people are saying, like, people really aren't, like, them profiles
aren't interacting.
Like, these are all, like,
it's crazy.
And so when you think about it, how scary is that? Because I mean, that could definitely be true. How many, people we argue with back and forth, and it has a circle with a letter T on it, and you're like, or J.
You talking about on the internet?
Yeah, like nameless faces.
The internet is good and bad. It's good.
Of course
it's
good
good because now you can have some fans that you can interact with that you probably never ever would have interacted with, because you probably get mobbed by thousands of people. It's been so many times that I've made somebody's day, or they like, you probably not even gonna see this, and you get a. You see it, just so happen to see it, and you chat back, and it just makes their day.
And you want to have those interactions.
Right. But then at the same time,
so much bad
then at the same time, if you playing and you ruin somebody's parlay, they calling you the N word and threatening your whole life and do all that. So then you got to deal with that too. So it's just good and bad. I think that both the extreme of the bad outweighs the good a little bit in that situation. So that's why some people's like, I'm not even going to be on social media, which is not a bad idea.
I've recently taken it all off my phone. I still use it sometimes, especially when I'm like watching the Browns game. I'll tweet something or whatever. But like, I'll put it on my phone during the Browns game, and then when the game's over, I delete it back off my phone again. Because there were nights where like my son is at swim practice and my wife's busy with something, and I'm just sitting there scrolling through Instagram like a mindless robot.
You put
and
the barrier in place.
Oh, you said
nice,
that you wouldn't pay attention to your son's activity. You was on the phone?
No, like I had free time, but I shouldn't be spending my free time scrolling through stupid videos on Instagram,
and
then I'm just getting myself aggravated.
That's a fact.
Now, not to get too off into this thing, but shout out to the chat. I mean, we probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the internet. Shout out to the internet. It's good and bad. I just think sometimes you kind of have to reprogram yourself, because when you scrolling, it's like that's dopamine. Like it's like you getting. Think about all your sensations. It's hot girl on one swipe. The other swipe, somebody got in a car accident. Another swipe, there's a flood. Then another swipe, you see somebody with a car and a bunch of money. Like it's every emotion that you go through, and then you get off thinking like,
it's digital heroin, dude.
Yeah, you just be like, digital heroin is a crazy app. Digital heroin and stores coming up mixtape with your boy G Baby. Yeah. Make sure you go get that. Download that on all platforms.
This
iTunes, Spotify.
First of all, there's only
Stefanski.
one G Baby, and you're not gonna disrespect him. R.I.P. to G Baby.
This was the exact quote Stefanski gave when he was asked about a timetable for Shador with 8 games left. I just want to read this exact quote, because this will bring us back to where we started before we brought in Mary Kay. Stefanski said, and I quote, "I don't think it's fair to speculate. We're committed to getting better as an offense. Dylan is certainly committed to improving every which way he can. All the while, all our players, young players, are developing and working so hard behind the scenes to make sure they're getting better on a daily basis." End quote. And that was his quote on a possible timetable for Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, that's not. No, it's not, because he didn't say anything. He didn't actually say anything about.
That's my
Shedeur.
point.
Body language experts would tell you, first and foremost, you get people on the stand and you look at them and you look at the mannerisms. I think it's alarming that he can't say this dude's name. When he says specifically about a question about Shedeur Sanders, he pivots to young players. If you ask him a question about Quinshon Judkins, he's going to say Quinshon Judkins. He's going to say Carson Schwessinger. He's going to say Dylan Gabriel. He won't. When he talks about Shedeur Sanders, it's young players in a vague general topic. Like, if I didn't have a problem with nobody, I wouldn't be able to say Dustin Tyvus Bull. Right? Like, I would just be like, you know what, I'm not going to talk about anybody.
He's probably annoyed a little bit by talking about the backup quarterback. All coaches are,
yes.
In those situations. And like, honestly, guys, Shedeur just must not be ready at all.
Or maybe he has no ability to
or
analyze
Stefanski
that.
or maybe he doesn't have a say. I don't know. Something's going on, because if we thought, like, we all think Shedeur might give you a chance, at least it's worth seeing, right? Don't you feel like?
Of course.
And it's not happening. So how bad do you think it really is?
I'll ask y'all, have y'all ever seen a dude, have y'all ever played with somebody who was nice? You know what I'm saying? Nice at the position. But, like, he did something, or, like, the coach just really didn't mess with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? You'd be like, man, this dude be balling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he should get some tick, but the coach just...
get some run, yeah.
He should get some run. You'd be like, why didn't he get no tick? And they'd be like, man, I don't even know, bro. Like, he be killing in practice, but coach don't mess with him. Sometimes, bro, like, you get dug in on certain things, and you just, like, that's just what it is. Like, you like, all right, well... I don't feel him like that. Like, and especially this is the root problem when you got two different people and two different mindsets about what they want to see in a quarterback.
See, this is my thing, and this is where I have the problem.
Last thing is we got Mary Kay. Go ahead.
Quickly, this is where I got the problem with Kevin a little bit. It's because, remember the preseason game against the Rams where Shedeur wasn't doing well, and he pulled him out in the 2-minute because he wanted to save him from hurting himself. Allegedly. With Dylan Gabriel, I would argue that he might be regressive, and yet he has not pulled him out not one time to save him from himself. Even with DTR, they pulled him and saved him from himself. Why is it that Dylan goes through it all and
through the fire?